Hi guys, today, November 8th, is a big date on my timeline. For one, today is the 7-year anniversary of the burning of paradise that I think really shook a lot of people awake to some of these nefarious programs going on. If you can see along the bottom of my graph here, there are a few November 8th dates marked on my timeline. The 2018 burning of Paradise, California. Then the November 8th date of what I call Anna's Blood Moon. And November 8th also happens to be the halfway point in the final 7 years on my timeline. However, that halfway point, or the 1,260 day mark on November 8th, is next year, in 2026. I'm not saying that a rapture won't happen until November of next year, because I think a rapture could happen at any moment. I have to be truthful and say that I have no idea when a rapture event might occur. I have no set date that I'm looking at anymore. I can't even guarantee that a rapture event is going to happen at all. I mean, who am I to guarantee such a thing? I'm just praying that there is a rescue mission from the Great Tribulation. The Bible does tell us that through Christ, we can find our escape from all the things coming upon the earth in the end of days. We are also told that we are not appointed to God's wrath, and it's possible that God's wrath will not be poured out until we are already in the final 7 years, and maybe at the halfway point. Right now, I think what we are mostly experiencing is the wrath of the stupidity of man. Actually, for all the people who have been doing their final 7 years count from the fall feast days of 2025, which have already clearly passed at this point, and coming with all their myriad of proofs of the situation, some even downright yelling at everyone about it, all I can say to them now is, congratulations, you are now in the final 7 years, just as I am. There is also the idea that God will protect us, as in the escape clause in Luke's Gospel. But that statement does not necessarily mean that we will be removed from the earth. Perhaps, like some people point out, Noah was not actually removed from the earth either. For me, I can see that we are at the end of days, and I'm simply trying to occupy the time, and with the patience of the saints, I am watching and waiting for the return of the Lord. I think the good thing about my timeline is we are not that far from what I'm showing for the second coming, which is Resurrection Day of 2030. Before I know it, we are going to be only 4 years from that date. Oh, I also wanted to say that I've turned all my old videos back on because I can see that it really would take me a lot of time to go back through them all and try and extract and reteach all that info. I'll do what I can, but I've also got some other things to talk about as well. Stuff that I haven't even covered yet in any videos over the past 5.5 years on YouTube. I also have an old playlist of about 7 short condensed videos that I think covers a lot of the signs in the heavens that I've been pointing out on my timeline, especially the Revelation 7 sign and the Revelation 15 sign, both of which happened on the 313 dates, exactly 8 years apart and 8 chapters apart. Then we had the blood moon of 313 this year, too. Oh, another thing that I have never mentioned before is, since I have a long list of things that have to do with the 313 dates, as well as the 313 numbers, I mean, even in Strong's Concordance, the Greek word number 313 means born again. So, did you know that the 7th time that the word Jesus shows up in the Bible is Matthew 3:13? I think that's a big one. Jesus comes to John to be baptized. Matthew 3:13. So anyway, the last few months has been quite a whirlwind across the Watchman channels, as well as news from around the world going off the charts. Who can even keep up with it all? During any previous feast days, I've never seen it like this. It's one of the reasons I hold off on putting out videos during times like this. With all the excitement of the Jewish fall feast days and all the anticipation of the rapture, it starts to feel like information overload, doesn't it? I'm sure whatever it is that I think I need to post is probably not that important, and I know people must be super busy with their lives and trying to keep up with everything else. I said it last year, but I've been living in Revelation chapter 16 for a while now, and I feel that God could pour out those vials of wrath at any moment. I've been feeling like this ever since the third and last great American eclipse last year. I'm expecting that Jesus' red letter words in Revelation chapter 16 could happen at any moment. So stand strong and stay alert and keep spreading those seeds. Which reminds me, it's not that hard to spread the word all over the place. You don't have to be a street preacher, or go door to door with tracts, or pass out Bibles to everyone who walks by, or join some church who you don't even see eye to eye with. You don't have to get preachy with people either, if you know what I mean. Just gently cast some seeds wherever you go and whoever you are talking with, and let your light shine. Be that person that Jesus wants you to be. The one who people can just look at and see that there is something different about that person. An inner light that shines forth and fills a room. You will find opportunities at every turn to cast some seeds in your regular daily walk. I mean, if some salesman asks you if you needed an extended 10-year warranty, or some home repairman is telling you about the warranty on your new roof or whatever, what better time than to tell them about living in the end of days and Jesus returning? They might get a kick out of it as you are both laughing about it all, but they will know you are serious and the seed was planted. You never know. Before the day is over, they may be telling their wife or friends about what you said, and they may discover that their wife and friends are in agreement that we are fast approaching the end. And I know it at least makes two people's day if I mention to someone about living in the end times and Jesus' return, and instantly they are agreeing with me and telling me all about some timeline that their best friend has been going on and on about. I love it. There has never been a better time for Jesus and his good news to be on your lips and in all your thoughts. And it can also be so uplifting to find out just how many people out there are kindred spirits. And I'm not saying that you should start pestering everyone at your workplace and ending up getting yourself in trouble or anything. But I think you know how to casually plant some seeds. Like if someone tells you their whole family is sick at home with a cold, let them know you are praying for them. Or if you are telling a coworker something good that happened to you, be sure to add that you knew right then that God had you covered, or that you knew that God had answered your prayers. Just dropping little seeds here and there. You'd be surprised how quickly some seeds sprout when they fall on good ground. And how long has it been since you gave your mailman a friendly wave, perhaps while meeting them at the mailbox? And while you both have those silly grins on your faces, tell your mailman, Jesus loves you, man, and I think he's coming back soon. No matter what they think, I have a feeling that they are going to drive away with a huge grin on their face, and they won't soon forget what you just said. And know that the seeds that you are casting will spread and multiply like ripples in a pond. If any good came out of these past fall feast days, it was that the mainstream news was even reporting on the rapture watchers and end of days preachers. This is actually a big step towards, for one, waking up the sleeping church. If we are lucky, some of those snoozing, snoring pastors got wind of all of the end of days talk and decided to get online and see what everyone is talking about and who all might be involved and what sort of biblical proofs people are laying out for them. Wake up the shepherds and wake up the sheep. Perhaps in some ways it helped. And for two, getting this subject into the minds of the masses out there. The big news channels, for better or worse, were in their own way planting some seeds. With all of the people now looking for Jesus' return, they can no longer see it as just some small unified fringe cult, thinking they are catching a ride out of here on a comet or something. No, we became a voice of many waters from all around the world, all singing the same song of Jesus is returning soon, and loud enough to be heard. I know there have been a lot of best-selling books on the market over the last several decades, warning about the end of days, and many books covering signs in the heavens and on earth that appear to be prophecies being fulfilled. But right now, it all just feels like it's accelerating quickly to a peak. There's just no better time than right now to double down on spreading seeds around. The more people hear Jesus and the good news dropping into conversations, the more they are going to be paying attention. Just imagine this scenario. There is this guy who is barely even a member of the sleeping church. Someone who's so lukewarm it isn't even funny. He's putting on his shoes to go to the grocery store, and here's a news report on TV about some massive bunch of cultish lunatics on YouTube who think the rapture is about to happen. He hears it, but doesn't think much of it. And while he's at the store, some woman standing next to him, looking at the meat selection, just out of the blue says aloud, to herself, or to him, he isn't sure, but she's saying out loud that the prices are so outrageous that Jesus can't come back soon enough. And before he's even out of the checkout line, he hears two people in the lane next to him talking about Jesus and the rapture any day now. He even heard them talking about some timeline and specific dates. And this lukewarm guy is starting to feel like something strange is going on, as if the whole world has been talking about something he's been ignorant of. Then, before he even gets his groceries put away at home, his best friend calls and starts telling him about some goofy old woman that he did a home repair for that morning, who was so convinced that we are at the end of days, she didn't give two flips about the extended warranty on her water heater. And then, you know what happened? That less than lukewarm guy started feeling like God must be calling him personally to the banquet, because it was just not any normal day. So he decided to turn in early that night so he would have time for a talk with God. And before he slipped off to bed, he found his old Bible and dusted it off and began to read a bedtime story out loud to his cat as they got comfy in the pillows. Yeah, I think everyone should be talking about Jesus and finding a way to bring up God and His Word in every conversation. Let's all make Jesus the talk of the town. So anyway, that was not what all this video was going to be about today. So I'll move on here with some other things. For one, I wanted to thank a couple of people who donated to my channel recently. It's always so appreciated. The good news is, I was working on a small business startup over the summer, which I thought would wind down over the winter. But it ended up morphing into a winter job too, which I'm feeling very excited about and may talk more about it later. Also, as summer was winding down, I adopted another part-time job, which meshes perfectly with my other work. And on top of that, I've been wanting to get back into my art as a part-time retirement job. It's been something I've been doing on and off for years when I wasn't working on videos, and I'm missing it. I'll still try to make some more videos, but I'm not sure how often I'll get one finished. Another thing I just did, something that I thought I could just put off forever, because the rapture was always just around the corner. And that is, I applied for Social Security checks. I never thought I'd see the day. So let's pray the rapture happens before the first check shows up. Right now, the Social Security office is dragging their tails on everything because of the government shutdown. But they claim they are still processing applications, just at a snail's pace. In looking at the news today, it looks like some of the SNAP benefits program is turned back on. I've never actually been on a government program, but I was feeling very concerned for the people that really needed the help with food. I know I've listened to a lot of people talking about how that whole system is nothing but a bunch of grifters, and how SNAP shouldn't even be turned back on. But that's not really the case, and it's not a solution either. I know it is a bad program full of criminals stealing from the poorest people who need the most help. But we need a better system that is more criminal-proof before we shut the old system down. If there is ever any sort of benefits programs that criminals can abuse, you can be sure that it will be overwhelmed with criminals. That's humans for you. They are the beasts that the Bible speaks of. They are people whose hearts, minds, and actions are fueled by lust, greed, envy, thievery, wrath, you name it. And they will do anything to lie, cheat, and steal their way through life, and abuse any system they can. You know, things are getting super serious when the real Hunger Games start in the U.S. So far, we've mostly had pandemonium in the streets with a bunch of idiots who don't even know what they're fighting for. But it's going to be a whole different situation when we have pandemonium in the streets over real starvation. We really, really do not want to see that happen. So, the news as far as I'm seeing today is that some states have released full SNAP benefits for November, even while at the same time the Supreme Court is still granting the request to block the benefits during the shutdown. So really, I don't know the outcome of the situation yet. I'm sure the food banks everywhere are still getting overwhelmed. Stay on top of the news, guys, because things could turn on a dime at any moment. And that goes for all the war news as well. Keep your ears to the ground and keep your hearts and eyes set on Jesus. I'll be back with another video as soon as possible. May you find peace and love beneath His wings. And I'll keep dreaming that we all fly soon.